And I have to say, we haven't really got into it, but all the woke madness stuff, you've been absolutely rock solid on, and I completely agree with you.
I appreciate you saying that. And the thing is, and this also about me is related to one of the other questions you were asking. I wrote the book Woke Inc. Back when it actually was a risk to write that book.
Yes, you did.
Now, the reason I don't, I mean, I share all the same beliefs, but I don't talk about it as much because, I mean, any Tom, Dick, and Harry can go criticize wokeness today, right? It's the new popular thing to do.
You did write that.
It's almost what the cool kids are doing. Yeah. The people who are doing it today were the people who were too afraid to do it in 2020.
I think what I absolutely respect about you saw the dangers of it, and you saw that it was becoming, under the guise of liberalism, it was becoming a new form of fascism. And I think you served a valuable public service in blowing that lid up. And I feel it's beginning to turn.
I think it is too.
The majority of people are just sick and tired of it.
Well, I think this election makes a big difference in that result, just in terms of not even the laws we pass, there's some element of that, but just the tone of national character that we set in the country. Because if you think about what allows, wokeness or anything like it to fester, it's a deeper generational hunger for purpose and meaning. And I think it's been a long time since we've had a president that has revived and spoken to our national character. And that's half the job. I mean, if people grill on policies, that's just half the job. The other half of the job is, do you have an understanding of what our national character is? And then can you actually bring it back?
Well, let me ask you about your character.
And for young people, we're able to do that.
Let me ask you about your character very quickly. How rich are you?
It varies depending on the stock market. Billion on a good day and, maybe 600 million on a bad day.
US dollars?
Yeah.
$1 billion on a good day?
Yeah, maybe a little more on a good day, yeah.
Do you like being a billionaire?
I don't particularly relish the title. I am not one of these people that's been a life achievement of mine. I'm thrilled that this country allowed me to achieve everything that I have. I'm proud of my accomplishments. I don't apologize for success, but I also don't fetishize green pieces of paper. I think sometimes it's something that leads people to deep unhappiness, and I've been around a lot of them, and I'm careful to make sure I don't become one of them either. We try to live in a way that maybe would reflect a fraction of that net worth in a way that actually hopefully allows our family to avoid some of the traps that some of my wealthier friends have fallen into.
Your wife, Apoorva, I think is how she pronounces it, she said your two best qualities were your joy and optimism.
Is that what she said? That's nice of her.
What do you think of that? Is that true?
Yeah, I think I'm naturally a very optimistic person. It's funny she says that because she's the person who experiences my crankiness the most at times, but there's a joy and optimism in there. On certain days, it's buried more deeply than others.
When was the moment you knew she was the one for you?
We were hiking a mountain it was Flat Top Mountain in Colorado. We were in Rocky Mountain National Park. And she was the one who was beating me all the way up the hiking trail. She had actually done Kilimanjaro not long before that, but we were going pretty hardcore to the top. I had been there to the top before, and I wanted to show it to her. And it was just the final maybe 300 feet, 200 feet to the top. But there was a massive snowstorm that set in. And she's somebody who's made it to the tops of these mountains before. I said I was going to go and wanted to make sure we saw that through. And she grabbed my hand and said, "We're going to come back and do this sometime in the future, but we're going to have a long future together." And we turned around and we made it all the way back down that mountain.
And you knew.
And here we are. Yeah.
How did you propose?
I proposed. It was actually, the real story. I mean, the cake was baked long before I proposed. I think that we wanted to get to a place where both of our families were all there. We knew what the destination was going to be, and I haven't told the story before, but she sort of said, all right, like at this point, I don't really care about the ring or anything else. If you don't get on this, you might find me proposing to you, and let's just get this over with. So I got so I was, put the perfect ring plans to one side, and we got a little ring pop, and we did it in the streets in New York City.
You got a what?
A ring pop.
What's that?
It's like a little lollipop as a ring. It's like a big ruby.
You gave your wife a lollipop ring?
She was thrilled with it.
You're a billionaire, man. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I wasn't at the time. Was working my way up. but we got her.
Did you at least go on
her red ruby ring to follow? Though.
Did you go on bended knee?
I did. Oh yeah. We went through the whole thing.
You went on bended knee?
Oh yeah, we did.
With your lollipop ring?
With the lollipop ring, yeah. It was in a nice case though. It was a very nice case.
And what is the secret to married life?
Ooh. I think practice, actually, is a good way to look at it. I think that if you look at every iteration as a round of practice, then that presumes that you're on the same page about the destination. You're just iterating and practicing to get to the version of perfection. And so it's never perfect, but it's about the pursuit of perfection.
And romance? Are you a romantic guy?
I maybe on a good day, yeah.
What's the most romantic thing you've ever done?
I don't know what I can't profess on my own self-romantic thing. I don't know. I feel like a little bit. I'm not a guy who's going to pat. I could think of some examples right now, but I'm not. It's not the kind of thing that I want to.
Give me a little bone.
I think
romantic bone.
I think that it was maybe one of our. I don't know how Apoorva felt about it, but our Valentine's Day gift. She's a tough one to please because she's not really into stuff. She's not a. She has stuff. She's not particularly into stuff. But I thought about what I could do that was better than her, which are few and far between. But I gave her a tennis lesson. And we actually went through it. And she's a naturally athletic person, but we picked something up that we were then able to do together for a while.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't. It's a small thing. I don't know.
No, but actually,
there's no big ceremony around it.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing.
Yeah.
And she loves it.
She seemed to like it. Yeah.
Who wins?
I mean, it's the sport I've played since growing up. She's a better volleyball player. That's what she played.
So you
growing up.
basically got her to play something you knew you could beat her at.
I had to pick something. Had to find something.
I mean,
she usually has me beat out.
Is that
on most things.
basically your character in a nutshell?
It's interesting. I'd have to do some Freudian introspection for that one. That might have been the toughest gotcha of the whole interview. The whole thing was leading to that.
Vivek, it's good to see you.
It's good seeing you, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, man.